Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where today we're going to take a look at the new Master of Shadows for the Raven Guard. We're going to take a look at Aethon Shaan, his new data card, and also the Raven Guard Detachment and their brand new combat patrol. All of these things are available, rules-wise, are available to download on WarCom. There is a link in the description of this video that will take you to the downloads page, and then you can find them there. And at time of recording, Aethon Shaan and the new Raven Guard Combat Patrol are both available to pre-order right now. Although I have a sneaky feeling that Shaan is currently sold out everywhere. Much to nobody's surprise, probably. But how about we get into this one? So we'll look at the new Chapter Master himself first, then we'll do the 40k detachment, and we'll finish up with the Combat Patrol, much like we did with the Imperial Fists video that dropped on Friday. So how about we get into this one? Until we strike, we are invisible, inaudible, and utterly imperceptible. And so are we the masters of our enemy's fate. That is a quote attributed to Aethon Shaan, the brand new chapter master of the Raven Guard. So we have a little bit of lore here. I'll link this article. Talks about who he is, why he's the new chapter master, because it was Kevon Shrike, who decided he wasn't man enough for the job, I think. Some nice artwork here, and then we get a shot of the model himself. It talks a little bit about the automata lying around him, and one of the cooler Chapter Master models. But honestly, all of the Chapter Master models are very nice, and this one just stands out. There's something completely just unique about it with how he's perched. That pose ready to jump off his rock tree thing. I think it is a rock, isn't it? It's like a stalactitey, cavey rock thing. Actually, it looks a bit Tyranidy if you painted it in Tyranid colours. But the thing that stands out for me is the jump pack and the lightning claws. Twin lightning claws is always cool, but the jump pack is such a nice design. So unique, and he has some really cool rules. He was one of my favourite models shown off in the last preview, and it's nice that the Raven Guard are getting some cool stuff. Shrike's model is pretty nice. I will be honest, there's some pieces in there that I'd like to cannibalize for some kit bashes, but this is just, I think it's a step above. But let me know what you think of the model in the comments below. How about we take a look at his data slate? So I haven't got points for him yet. I believe that points will be released probably 2 or 3 days before the model actually releases, so about 2 weeks away now. But we have everything else. He's a brand new character, so there are no other rules, and these rules are available for free, and the link is in the description below, as we've mentioned. But Aethon Shaan, 14-inch movement, very nice. Very fast. Only toughness 4 with a 3-up save, so standard Space Marine, but he does have a 4-up invul, 5 wounds, 6-up leadership, 1 OC. So stat-wise, aside from an impressive movement value, there's not really any surprises there. 5 wounds feels a little bit low, but he is only in Tacticus armor, so I guess that was expected, but I was thinking that he would have 6. But still, 5, it's okay, you've still got to get through it, and he does have some impressive abilities to try and keep him alive a little bit. Range weapons, heavy bolt pistol is a pistol, 18-inch range, 1 attack, ballistic skill of 2 up, strength 4, -1 AP, 1 damage, standard heavy bolt pistol from what I can see. But his melee weapon, the Claws of Kevarax, sustained hits 2 and twin linked. Very nice. So sustained hits 2 on a critical hit, you add another 2 hits, and twin linked means you reroll failed wounds. The range melee, as expected, 7 attacks if you roll incredibly hot, which isn't guaranteed to happen, and very few people will have this happen, but it can happen. If you roll 7 6s, that's 21 hits. 21 hits. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Weapon skill 2 up, so he's going to be hitting on pretty much everything. Only strength 5, -2 AP, 2 damage. Now that last bit, strength AP and damage, I think is standard. I would have liked him to have an extra pip of strength. Standard lightning claws are, I believe they're damage 1, -2 AP, strength 5. So it looks like he's got an extra pip of damage. Damage 3 wouldn't have been too out of the question, I don't think. I feel like strength 5 is just a little bit weak. But he is a Raven Guard, he is sneaky, he's got things in his kit that will protect him. But when he gets in combat, that's when you want him to really murder things. Against infantry units, he's going to do okay, but anything else, he's not really it, is he? suppose it depends how you want to use him. But as nice as that is, and we don't know his points, so he could be 100 points, something like that, which I'd argue is probably quite fair when you look at the rest of his kit. It's fine, but I think the Claws of Kevarax for a Chapter Master, for a brand new character, they could have just been a little bit better. For me. But let me know what you think of that in the comments below. Abilities: Core, Deep Strike, Lone Operative, and Stealth. So no surprises there, but 3 very, very nice abilities. Faction Oath of Moment, all Space Marines have it. Now he has his own abilities. The first one, Master of Shadows. In your command phase, select 1 unit from your opponent's army. Until the start of your next command phase, each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army declares a charge, while it is within 12 inches of that enemy unit, you can reroll the charge roll, but it must declare that enemy unit as the target of the charge if possible. So it's a rerollable charge within 12 inches of an enemy unit. It can be any unit, it doesn't have to be your Oath of Moment unit, but there may be some crossover there. It's not terrible, and with it being any of your Adeptus Astartes units that charge that unit, there is some ability of pushing units up the board with it, making those long bomb charges. Definitely has its uses, and it definitely feels like somebody who is orchestrating the battle, doesn't it? So I quite like it from different ways, but I don't know how useful it is in terms of constant usability. He also has the Blackwing Mantle. You can target this model's unit, so just him, with a Rapid Ingress and Heroic Intervention stratagems for 0 CP, even if you have already used that stratagem on a different unit this phase. So free Rapid Ingress is going to be great. He has Deep Strike, Rapid Ingress. There are probably going to be some uppy downy stratagems in the Raven Guard detachment, but if not, there's a couple of detachments in Codex Space Marines that also have that uppy downy ability, so you're going to get quite a lot of play out of that. And Heroic Intervention, he can just step into a combat for 0 CP, unleash all of those attacks, hopefully do some damage. Yeah, there's a bit of play there. It's quite nice, and it sort of works for how they've built this character, I think. Keywords: Inventory Character, Epic Hero, Fly, Jump Pack, Imperium Tacticus, Chapter Master, Aethon Shaan, and obviously Adeptus Astartes and Raven Guard. So he is the Chapter Master of the Raven Guard. This means at the start of the Declare Battle Formation step, if your army includes Aethon Shaan and Kevon Shrike until the end of the battle, your Kevon Shrike unit loses its Lone Operative ability and it replaces its Chapter Master keyword with Captain. So Kevon Shrike loses Lone Op and becomes a Captain. I think that makes sense. And the model is equipped with 1 heavy bolt pistol and the Claws of Kevarax. This is all going to depend on how he's priced, but I think Raven Guard players will take him anyway because he is such a nice model. And he's got some fun stuff about him. The 4-up invul is good. When you pair that with Stealth and Lone Op, it gives him an extra element of survivability. Deep Strike is always a nice ability. I'm a big fan of that, and with 14-inch movement and the ability to do a free Rapid Ingress. Plus he can support his other units by handing out that reroll charge when needed. I don't think he's terrible, but as always, a lot of this stuff is going to depend on the points. If he's overcosted, you're not going to see him too much. If he's undercosted, he's well worth taking. But let me know what you think of Aethon Shaan in the comments below. How about we go and have a look at that brand new Raven Guard detachment? This is the Shadowmark Talon. So their detachment rule: Masters of Shadows. Each time a ranged attack targets an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army, unless the attacking model is within 12 inches, subtract 1 from the hit roll, and the target has the benefit of cover against the attack. Very similar to, I can't remember, is it the Vanguard detachment in Space Marines? The Raven Guardy one in Codex Space Marines, they have a similar thing, which is, it's really nice. It's very useful. They also have the Unparalleled Tactician ability, which means once per battle round, if an Aethon Shaan model from your army is on the battlefield, you can use the Into Darkness stratagem for 0 CP. That is a stratagem in here that we'll touch on later, but he gets to do that for free whenever he's on the field. Quite nice. Restrictions: your army can include Raven Guard units, but it cannot include any Adeptus Astartes units drawn from any other chapters. That's the standard Space Marine restriction. Take a look at the enhancement. But first enhancement, the Blackwing Shroud. Adeptus Astartes inventory model only. When the bearer is leading a unit, all models in that unit have the Infiltrators ability. Generally quite nice. Infiltrators is a pretty solid ability, and you're going to have a lot of Phobos, probably with this army. Certainly if you're playing with a thematic idea with a Raven Guard, Infiltrators completely fits. The Coronal Susurrant is a Phobos model only. The bearer has the following ability: Lord of Deceit, Aura. Each time your opponent targets a unit from their army with a stratagem, if that unit is within 12 inches of this model, increase the cost of that usage of that stratagem by 1 CP. It is a 12-inch aura of Vect. +1 to CP cost anywhere within that 12-inch model. Logan Grimnar has it. It's one of the things that makes him incredible, apart from just being Logan Grimnar. It is just an insane ability. There's something similar in that Raven Guard detachment in the Codex. This is, yeah, I mean, you're always going to take that. Whatever the points cost is, you're always going to take that, in all honesty. So this one actually plays out differently from the Vanguard Spearhead, because I've just checked it. The Vanguard Spearhead is you just nominate that one stratagem to cost 1 CP extra for the entire battle once it's tried to be used. This is just an aura of 12 inches. This is a continuous thing. I mean, alright, it's got to go on a Phobos model, so you're going to have to build into Phobos, but what a strong ability. The Umbral Raptor, Adeptus Astartes model only. The bearer has stealth and lone operative abilities. Yeah, it's nice. They're very nice abilities, but it's not something that you're going to auto-take. It depends on the character, absolutely. You could do some fun things with that, and there's some fun characters that could take it, but it's mostly going to be captains, lieutenants. Some models already have it that you're probably going to take, like the lieutenant with a combi weapon. He's a pretty nice profile, but he already has those things. So it's good, but it's not necessarily the first pick. And then finally, Hunter's Instinct. Adeptus Astartes model only. If the bearer's unit is in strategic reserves, for the purposes of setting up that unit on the battlefield, treat the current battle round number as being 1 higher than it actually is. It's just generally strong, but again, I think something like that as an enhancement depends on 1, the unit it's going on to, 2, also the cost of that enhancement. But it can go on Adeptus Astartes, so Terminator Captain, you could drop some Terminators in if you wanted to, something like that. I don't really know how you do it with Raven Guard. Maybe Jump Pack Assault Marines, big blob of 10 of those with a Captain, stick that on it. That would work. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I don't really know how you build Raven Guard armies, because I've never really looked at them lore-wise. Generally, across the board, that's 4 very nice enhancements. You're going to have to pick your situation for which you want to use them. It's going to depend entirely on the units. I think that the only one that is an auto-take is that Coronal Susurrant, but you are locked into, and that's the only one that is, but you are locked into a Phobos model. But not bad. Honestly, not bad enhancements for this one. Stratagems. We have 6 stratagems, first one being Armor of Contempt, so we'll ignore that because we all know what that does. Into Darkness we'll touch on last, but that's the one that Aethon Shaan can do for free. Is it once per battle? Once per battle round, so every battle round he can do it, but we'll get to that one. Let's start with Lay Low the Tyrants. It is a battle tactic stratagem for 1 CP. When fight phase, target 1 Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Effect until the end of the phase, melee weapons equipped by models in your unit have the precision ability. If you need a character gone, absolutely, but you're not going to be using it all the time. It's useful, and it's nice to have, but I don't think you're going to be using it every turn. Feint and Thrust, a strategic ploy stratagem for 1 CP. When your movement phase, target 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Effect until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in the turn in which it fell back. If it is a Phobos or Scout Squad unit, it is also eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. Being able to fall back, shoot and charge for 1 CP I think generally is quite good, but if it is a Phobos unit, being able to advance as well and do all those things, I think that's quite nice. I don't really know what you do it with. Scout Squads are the obvious one, advance them up the board, they can still shoot. They're not a big melee threat though. Potentially Reavers with your Phobos, but Phobos, unless I've missed something, Phobos doesn't really have a huge melee unit. Maybe it's something that will come in the future, but there isn't something that you just drop in or just throw up the board and then Blade Guard style they just carve through enemies or they hold an objective. They're generally weaker, easier to pick off. It's good, it's very good, and it's definitely one that you'd use, but probably going to be more Scout Squad than Phobos, but it depends how you build your armies. I feel like I build armies very differently to other people. Next one, Stunning Fusillade is a battle tactic stratagem for 1 CP. When your shooting phase, target 1 Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army. that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Effect until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes a ranged attack that targets an enemy unit that is more than 12 inches away, improve the ballistic skill and armor penetration characteristics of that attack by 1. If one or more enemy units are destroyed as a result of those attacks, select one of those destroyed models. That destroyed model's unit must take a battle shock test. So the battle shock bit we can sort of ignore, but improving your ballistic skill and armor penetration by 1 when you're shooting a unit that is 12 inches away or more, well, is more than 12 inches away, let's get it legally right for the rules. For a CP on a battle tactic stratagem, that's ridiculously good. I really like that. And as Space Marines, I mean even generic Space Marines, their bolters are going to be hitting on 3 up, you go into a 2 up. Heavy weapons, even if you move, you're going to be hitting on 3s probably. Nice. I think that's really nice. And I'm just trying to think big hard hitting units that you could use it on. I don't really do Devastators because nobody does Devastators anymore, but they would be prime for that. Eliminators, if you're moving them, potentially. Although I think they already hit on 2s anyway. Or are they 3s with heavy? It's nice. My brain is struggling to come up with which units you'd use it on, but definitely, I mean, even if it's just a blob of 10 intercessors or something, and you're trying to take an enemy off the home objective so you can get a deep strike in or something like that, I mean, yeah, very nice. Raptoral Vigilance is a battle tactic stratagem for 1 CP. When your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move, target 1 Adeptus Astartes infantry or mounted unit from your army that is within 9 inches of an enemy unit that just ended that move. You cannot target a unit that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Effect, your unit can make a normal move of up to d6 inches or up to 6 inches instead if it is a Phobos or Scout Squad unit. Reactionary moves are always nice. Battle tactic stratagem at 1 CP, I think that's pretty good. That's very similar to a stratagem that was in the Spearhead, the Vanguard Spearhead. Anyway, we've seen a few of those in a few different detachments across 40k. And generally they're just nice, they help you reposition, they help you keep out of charge potentially. And if you're doing it on a Phobos or a Scout, that extra movement, very nice. So finally, Into Darkness. It's a strategic ploy stratagem for 1 CP, but as we know, Aethon Shaan can do it once per battle round for free. What does it do? When end of your opponent's fight phase, target up to 2 Phobos and or Scout Squad units from your army, or 1 other Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army. You cannot target a unit that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. The effect, remove those units from the battlefield and place them into strategic reserves. So, 2 Phobos or Scout, bring them back in later. Or you can maybe do jump packs, maybe do Terminators, any other 1 unit that's on the battlefield. Just take them into strategic reserves, reposition them at the end of the turn, basically. For 1 CP, it's pretty good. Being able to do it for free if Aethon Shaan is on there is, yeah, just yes. You can only do it once. So if Aethon Shaan is on there, it is free, but you can't do it and then do it again like you can with some stratagems. I think that that's generally nice. Very similar to something else that we had on the Vanguard stratagem. And obviously the benefit to Phobos and Scout Squads is there too. I mean, if you are running a lot of Scouts, you can take some heavy weapons, you can do some good things with Scouts. They're generally nice at holding objectives or throwing them up the board to give you a bit of a board presence, taking the midfield or even pushing onto the enemy objectives. Adding this to it, it gives them a lot of movement, 2 Scout Squads, and you can take them in blobs of 10, which would each have 2 heavy weapons, so 2 missile launchers or 2 heavy bolters or something that would give them a little bit of threat. But also, they are Space Marines. They're not quite as tough as normal Space Marines, but they are 2 wound models. So Scouts can already do, as long as they're 6 inches away, return to strategic reserves. That's their inbuilt unit ability, which is excellent. So you're probably not going to get as much use out of that unless they are within that 6 inch but outside of engagement range of an enemy unit. Yeah, I quite like it. In fact, I quite like all of these. I don't think that there's necessarily a bad one. As I said with the Imperial Fists detachment that we looked at, Armour of Contempt is there. It is good. It's in everything, but it is good. I think the only one here that you'd struggle to get the most use out of is Lay Low the Tyrants, but if you have a character that needs to go, or he's in a unit or something that just won't go away, pop that on any unit and you'll be able to hopefully remove that Warlord character, whatever, from play. Yeah, I really like this. I love the enhancements. I think that Susurrant one is ridiculous. Hunter's Instincts is good as well. Being able to give a character stealth and lone op if you want is good. This is all very Raven Guardy Raptor. Obviously there's a benefit to taking Aethon Shaan and running Raven Guards, but I think it's nice that we're getting something that is probably a little step above Vanguard Spearhead for Raven Guard specifically. Certainly in terms of theme. I'm not entirely sure if it is better than the Vanguard Spearhead. There's a lot of similarities, but I think that this is pretty good. And if you're already running Phobos or you want to go down that covert route, I think this is definitely worth a try. But let me know what you think in the comments on the Detachment. How about we take a look at the new Combat Patrol and see what's going on for the Raven Guard with that very Phobos stealthy bot. This is the Combat Patrol Shadowclaw Kevarax. So as usual with a Space Marine Combat Patrol, we have Oath of Moment. It reads exactly the same as the previous ones we've looked at. It is the same Oath of Moment that you know, potentially love, but it just gives you that reroll of a hit on a selected target that you can change once per command phase. Enhancements: your captain model is your Warlord and he is a captain on a jump pack. So he's already a decent model, lots of movement. We'll see who he pairs with later. But he starts with the Deadly Duelist enhancement. You can replace this with Area Denial if you want. But Deadly Duelist, melee weapons equipped by the bearer have the lethal hits ability. It's just nice. If you wanted to switch that out, Area Denial at the end of your command phase, if the bearer's unit is within range of an objective marker you control, that objective marker remains under your control, even if you have no models within range of it, until your opponent controls it at the start or end of any turn. It gives you sticky objectives. That's quite nice, actually. You can go melee threat, lethal hits is obviously going to boost the amount of wounds that you're getting through, forcing more saves. Potentially. Area Denial is pretty nice. So far, some good enhancements, and it's going to depend on what you're playing into and what your objectives are for that match. Secondary objectives. We have Concentrated Wrath. You score 2 VP each time a model from your army destroys an enemy unit. If that unit was your Oath of Moment target, you score 3 VP instead. Destroying enemies is a big part of the game. 2 VP every time you destroy an enemy unit. 3 VP if it's your Oath of Moment, which you're probably going to be targeting anyway. Generally it's pretty good, but you do have to be destroying units and probably focus firing on certain units. But no, I like that. If you wanted to, you can switch that out for Clandestine Infiltration. At the end of the battle you score 10 VP if you control the objective marker closest to your opponent's battlefield edge. That's probably a late game play. If you are going to go for that, you keep that in your back pocket and you see how things lie. You are putting quite a lot of weight into being able to take that objective on that final turn. It's still good though, and you have jump pack units in here. You have some interesting things. I believe that it's also the stealth Scout Walker thing that I hate the look of and I can never remember the name, but you've got some decent units in here to potentially do that with, so both of those sound quite doable. Our 3 stratagems that come with this Combat Patrol. Stranglehold is a battle tactic stratagem for 1 CP. When the command phase, target 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Effect: until the start of your next command phase, add 1 to the objective control characteristic of models in your unit. It's okay. That's probably going to pair quite nicely with Clandestine Infiltration, and you just throw a unit up there and you just make sure that you hold that. So I can see a use for it. It's not something that I get excited about, increasing an OC though, as you guys probably know, because every time I see one of those, I just write them off. Rightly or wrongly, it just doesn't excite me. Next one, From the Shadows, a battle tactic stratagem for 1 CP. When your shooting phase or fight phase, target 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Effect: until the end of the phase, improve the armor penetration characteristic of weapons equipped by models in your unit by 1. And those weapons have the anti-monster 4-up and anti-vehicle 4-up abilities. Just nice. Increasing your AP is always good, but anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4-up, That's going to help you clear, not guaranteed to, but going to help you clear monsters and vehicles. That works very nicely for Concentrated Wrath, but also Clandestine Infiltration if you want to thin out the enemy on that final turn, or gearing up towards that final turn. Very nice stratagem. And then the final one that comes with this, Force Their Hand. It is a strategic ploy stratagem for 1 CP. When your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit ends a normal, advance, or fallback move. Target one Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that is within 9 inches of the enemy unit that just ended that move, and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Effect: you can make a normal move of up to D6 inches, or a normal move of up to 6 inches, instead if you are a Phobos unit. Situational, but you will get some good use out of that, helping you reposition, potentially pushing you further back the board so you can set up some sort of shooting line. Maybe you're gearing up a charge, or you're pushing towards that enemy objective. Very nice stratagems all told. Stranglehold doesn't excite me, but the other two I think are very solid. Let's take a look at the units that you're going to be using in this one. So our first one, Captain Kevarax, or the Captain with a jump pack. He is standard jump pack. Stat line, 12-inch move, toughness 4, 3 up save. He's a character, so he has a 4 up invul, 5 wounds, 6 up leadership, and 1 OC. I really like jump pack captains. I think their abilities are nice in big 40k, and they're just good models. Pairing them with intercessors with jump packs, very, very nice. Range weapons, heavy bolt pistol. We've talked about this one already with Aethon Shaan. It's the same profile. It's fine. It's not the best weapon he can be equipped with in the Codex Space Marines, but it's fine. And then melee weapons, he has a relic weapon, so it doesn't matter what you build him with, which is good. It is melee, 6 attacks, weapon skill 2 up, standard captain, strength 5, minus 2 AP, 2 damage. Strength 5 is always going to be a bit of a letdown when you could have had a power fist, but that said, minus 2 AP, 2 damage, it's not bad. He will do work. Abilities, Core, Leadership, Deep Strike, and Oath of Moment, as you would expect. Angel's Wrath is his special ability. Each time this unit ends a charge move, until the end of the turn, add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. That strength 5 on the relic weapon will become strength 6, as long as they have charged. And as we know, he comes with a heavy bolt pistol and a relic weapon. Keywords, inventory character, jump pack, fly, Imperium, Tacticus, Captain Kevarax, and Adeptus Astartes. This model can be attached to the following unit, the Assault Intercessors with jump packs, and they are next on our list. So Assault Intercessors with jump packs, 12-inch move, toughness 4, 3 up save, 2 wounds each, 6 up leadership, 1 OC. Basically the same, except he has the character bonuses. They are armed with heavy bolt pistols, and 4 of them can take the Astartes chainswords, which standard chainsword, but we'll run through it. Range melee, 4 attacks, weapon skill 3 up, strength 4, minus 1 AP, 1 damage. Obviously on the charge, you are adding extra strength while the captain is in their unit. So you will get 4 models with those weapons, and then the sergeant who comes with them to make it a 5-man squad. He gets a power weapon, again range melee, 4 attacks, weapon skill 3 up, strength 5, minus 2 AP, 1 damage. So on the charge with the captain, you're looking at strength 5 and strength 6 attacks for the whole unit. Very nice. Strength 5 is a pretty good breakpoint. Strength 6 is even nicer. Ability wise, they come with Deep Strike, Oath of Moment, Hammer of Wrath. So each time this unit ends a charge move, see what we're building into here, select one enemy unit within engagement range of it, then roll 1d6 for each model in this unit that is within engagement range of that enemy unit. On a 4 up, so 50% of the time, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Before you do anything else, before any of your attacks, you roll what will be 6 dice on a full-size unit for this combat patrol. As long as you've charged, roll those dice on a 4 up, mortal wounds. You're thinning out the enemy already, and then you can go into your attacks. I just really like that rule. As I've said, they're a 5-man unit, so 1 sergeant and then 4 assault intercessors. And keywords, infantry jump pack, fly, Imperium Tacticus, assault intercessors with jump packs, and Adeptus Astartes. So our next unit, this is a 10-man unit of infiltrator squad. So 1 sergeant and 9 infiltrators. They're 6-inch move with a toughness of 4, 3 up save, 2 wounds, 6 up leadership, 1 OC. Fairly standard Space Marine stuff there. Range weapons, bolt pistol, which is pistol, surprisingly. 12-inch range, 1 attack, ballistic skill 3 up, strength 4, no AP 1 damage. They also come with the marksman bolt carbine, which has the heavy keyword, 24-inch range, 2 attacks each. Ballistic skill 3 up, but with heavy, if you don't move, that goes down to a 2 up. Strength 4, 0 AP 1 damage, so not the biggest threat on the board, but they can do some work. Abilities, we have core infiltrators, so you can set them up the board. It's just generally nice. Oath of Moment, as expected, and Omni Scramblers. Enemy units that are set up on the battlefield from reserves cannot be set up within 12 inches of this unit. That is a really strong ability, especially on combat patrol, smaller board size. That is a big area denial right there. I really like that. They also have Patrol Squad's ability. At the start of the Declare Battle Formation step, this unit can be split into 2 units, each containing 5 models. And both of those 5-man units would have that Omni Scramblers ability. That's feels a bit strong. And finally, we have our Invicta Tactical Warsuit. I wish I liked this model, and the only reason I don't like it is because of the open frontage roll cage. If I was going to have one of these, I would probably get some plastic card and just close it up and do something else with it. But as a model, it seems like it's got some pretty good rules, so we'll run through this. This is the Invicta Tactical Warsuit, 8-inch move, toughness 8, very nice. 3 up save, 12 wounds, it's a 6 up leadership with 4 OC, so it's going to do quite well to cap an objective. It does have the battle damaged trait, so when it's got 1 to 4 wounds remaining, each time this model makes an attack, you subtract 1 from the hit rolls, so it will degrade, and then it will be, it looks like hitting on 4 ups with that fist, and yeah, 4 ups on ballistic skill as well. So it is going to get weaker, but it's got to get through 8 wounds first. On toughness 8 in combat patrol, that's not the easiest thing to do depending on the units that you're against. Ranged weapons, we have quite the selection. First up, Frag Storm Grenade Launcher, which is blast, 18-inch range, D6 attacks, 3 up ballistic skill, strength 4, no AP 1 damage. It's got a heavy bolter, which is sustained hits 1 on a 36-inch range with 3 attacks, ballistic skill 3 up. This is strength 5, minus 1 AP 2 damage, not terrible. The twin Iron Hail autocannon is twin linked, 48-inch range, 3 attacks, hits on 3 up, strength 9. Minus 1 AP, 3 damage a shot. Very nice. And finally, the twin Iron Hail Heavy Stubber, which is rapid fire 3, bloody hell, and twin linked, 36-inch range, 3 attacks, ballistic skill 3 up, strength 4, no AP, 1 damage, but rapid fire 3, and twin linked, not bad at all. Melee weapons, it has the Invicta Fist, which is range melee, 5 attacks, weapon skill 3 up, strength 14. Jesus. Minus 2 AP, 3 damage. That is going to do work. And that strength 14, I don't think I've seen a strength 14 in a combat patrol. That can't be right. Just check Codex Space Marines, and I know that this is bigger 40k and not combat patrol, but it's the same profile. Holy hell, I have been ignoring a really strong unit, haven't I? Abilities, core abilities, Deadly Demise D3, Scout 8 inches. Scout 8 inches is very nice. And Oath of Moment. We've gone over the battle damage and unit composition. It is a 4-range weapon, ridiculously strong melee warsuit. This is a hell of a combat patrol. I like this. Keywords: Vehicle Walker, Imperium Phobos, Invicta Tactical Warsuit, and Adeptus Astartes. Wow, I am blown away by the Invicta Warsuit. Infiltrators have always been the Phobos unit of choice for me. If I'm going to run them, I really do like them. The fact that it's a 10-man and you can split them into 2 groups of 5 is really good. I think Assault Intercessors with jump packs are great, and I think that the captain pairing with those Assault Intercessors with jump packs, he just adds that little bit extra strength punch. They bring in the mortal wounds. It's a really nice unit to couple together. Stratagems are pretty good, the objectives are pretty good, the enhancements. Area Denial is probably the one that I would go with, but giving the captain lethal hits isn't a bad idea. I am just blown away by how good that warsuit is. So this is obviously built up as the Raven Guard. There is nothing Raven Guard in here. All of this can be painted up in any colours. Obviously works perfectly for Raven Guard because of the types of units in here. Raptors 2, if you wanted to go down a stealthy route. If you just wanted to do some Space Marines and you like the Phobos stuff, you like jump packs, this is a really nice combat patrol. It is up for pre-order right now. I don't know if it has sold out or not. I haven't really been paying attention. But rules-wise, I like it. This is, 2 for 2. Certainly for the combat patrols, this is a way that I would play. It's units that I quite like. And that tactical war suit, damn. I want one of them in my Space Wolves. And I could make it work. I could make it fit, I'm sure. Yeah, really surprised, really impressed. I think that this has got some play to it as well. And that Invicta Warsuit is going to be such a threat. You're probably going to be ignoring jump packs and the infiltrators, but then you've got that area denial with the infiltrators. You've got scout on the Warsuit to get it closer up the board into that charge range. You've got some decent options for weapons as well. Not going to do huge damage. The autocannon's the only one, but still 3 attacks, twin linked, decent range, high strength. But strength 14 on that Invicta Fist has just blown me away. That's insane. That is, strength 14, minus 2 AP and 3 damage. What the hell? Really? Just incredible. But let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please drop a like. Subscribe if you haven't. It all helps the channel, and it's very much appreciated if you do. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.